Hello, everybody. Everybody okay? Everybody doing good? Glad you could come and hang out for a little bit. I am a little bit surprised. I was expecting to see close to twice the numbers we got here tonight, but I guess there's not that many people that's as interested in the CNC as there are the laser. Even though we're going to be talking about some designs and some design tips with your laser tonight, specifically, I'm going to go over this design I did this week, trying to get it so you can see the colors from and the contrast there, but the light is doing a number on it. But I'm going to go over a couple of things that I did on this that you don't see on other similar designs. And I'm curious if anybody can point out what I've done about this that's unique. And I'm going to show you some other examples first. But I'm going to go over a couple of design tips with this using the same fonts that or font that we used last week, because that's what these are. They're fonts. I didn't have to do any artwork. I didn't have to go copy and trace anything. I just used the fonts again. But there's something about this that I feel like makes this a step above every other design you see out there on the internet that you can download. And I want to point it out to you and show you how you can fix it in your artwork or any of the files you download. It's not acrylic. That is this is all done with Craft Closet MDF, but it does that light really makes it shine, don't it? But I'm going to talk to you about some tips on how to make your stuff look what I feel like much more realistic. The black is not an inlay. There's 3 layers there. You can see the black is just a third layer on top. Nope. Chris, 3 layers. 1, 2, 3. And then just point out, I've been contacted by a few people. Some of you have already downloaded this one, but they didn't read the description online. I put this one up on the website, but I did say specifically on the website that this is done in a cross that I purchased from Hobby Lobby. So this outer perimeter is a Hobby Lobby cross that I've positioned the inner cross into. These are 3 layers that I've got inside here, and my design are the 3 layers, and the middle, or the second layer, the one that Christ is on, I did this similar to what I did with the other. I wanted to elevate that off the cross, but I didn't want it to be a huge offset. So there's only a 1 millimeter offset. And that really adds some shadow effect and some dimension to that without being just big and bold and obvious. But the website, when you download the file, it says that you're getting these 3 layers here. There is a 4th layer with the download that has an optional offset of this back cross, and it has 2 places up top where you can put, wire or string or whatever, and make it a wall hanger. But I've got a bunch of these crosses from Hobby Lobby that I will use to put my crosswork in, and they come with the hanger on them, and it's press board and it's fiberboard. They're really, really cheap, but it makes them look a lot better than just all being out of the plywood. So, and then we're going to do something else tonight too. What else was it? Something. I forget. Is it possible to cut it at an angle? Cut what at an angle, Eric? In fact, let me just go up here, make sure I didn't miss anything. I seen Scott, I thought about that. Scott says, "Hey, let's just draw for it now." I thought about that, but we've already nearly doubled the numbers. So, and I want to give everybody a fair chance at it. That's what it was. We're going to give away something. I knew there was something there. Let's see here. Yeah, it colored. If you're talking about the Halloween stuff, that was all pre-finished MDF from Craft Closet. And this was what I was confused about. Is it possible to cut at a right angle? What you talking about, Willis? I'm glad to see Craig's awake and doing okay. Glad you're here tonight, Craig. I hope you're feeling better, doing better. Last couple of messages I got from you look like they might have been spelled with alphabet soup. I'm like, okay, he's not feeling any pain right now. Your designs sides at an angle to make the offset seamless. I'm not sure. Which design are you referring to, Eric? You talking about the cross or are you talking about the Halloween? Which one are you talking about? Well, hopefully it'll all subside very, very soon. All right, the cross. Okay, and Star Guy, thank you. Thank you for making the tutorials. There are 2 holes with rubber flaps on the picture of the Cubiko. What? There are 2 holes with rubber flaps on the picture of the Cubiko. What are the 2 holes? Which picture are you referring to, Star Guy? And I'll be glad to talk to you, but figure it out. All right, the cross. All right, so the cross. Nah, so go back and see. He says the design's sides at an angle to which the offset to make the offset seam. I'm not sure what you're seeing, or it's just 2 layers, and I only did a 1 millimeter offset of the original. And if you look close enough, I eyeballed it when I was gluing it up, and you can see around the head there. Let me just focus it a little bit better. There we go. I got more gap on one side than I do the other, but it's just a fair 1 millimeter offset. I did want to have a little bit of an offset. I didn't want to have it exactly flush. You could have done it that way if you wanted to, but I wanted it to have just a little bit. I wanted a little extra. And then something else that you could do that really, and I've done it on some of the other crosses, instead of doing a 1 millimeter outward offset, do like a 3 millimeter inward offset. So it's completely hidden. You don't see anything. So then the body of Christ is completely elevated off the cross, and it does have an actual physical shadow back there. That's another thing you can do. Just another way to approach it. But there are 2 holes on the side of the Cubiko. What are those for? And it depends on which picture. If it's the picture in the thumbnail dashboard, no, let's go. In fact, I can just pan it over. Let me take your comment off and take, well, now my name's in the way. There's one little red button right there. That's the emergency cutoff switch. And my name's going to be in the way. Yeah. assets, no banners, no style. There we go. Display names off. All right, there you go. Are you talking about these two buttons or these two little things that you've seen in a photograph? Are those the two that you're referring to, Star Guy? No, you can't cut on an angle without putting the wood in a jig. And somebody once said they had a jig to cut 45s. Never seen it. Never seen it happen. You ain't gonna cut anything large at 45s, unless you had an open gantry machine, and it ain't worth it. That's what a miter saw's for. But no, you're strictly 90s. No miters. On the bottom of the Cubico, okay, those are clean out holes. I have not cleaned this one out yet because I use the dust shoe and the vacuum, and it doesn't accumulate a lot. But there are open slots in the base of the Cubico. Come on, Betsy. I got to get up. Oh. So, back here and here. Oh, too many times. All right, so these slots, this table will move back and forth. Well, these are open slots, and guy, you'll get sawdust and cuttings that fall down in there, and you will need to periodically. And there's also, I think it's screw drive or worm gear or something in there that helps move that table back and forth. You'll need to get in there and clean all that up, lubricate everything, and that's part of accessing the bottom to clean everything. 99% sure that's what you're referring to. So turn that off. I think Eric means something about a 40. Yeah, no miters on the laser. Thank you, Wayne. God bless you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, dust removal. Yep. Yep. And God bless you and thank you, Nipa. Yeah, if you're not subscribed, you need to do so. And honestly, for anybody that's here right now, we got 131 of you watching right now. Everybody that's here that's wanting to win the Cubico tonight, I wish everybody the best of luck. This is a fun, neat little machine to play with. It'll be a cool new hobby to learn if you haven't been messing with any CNC yet. And you can jump in with me now with the my adventures with Mill Mage and trying to figure all this out. But open another window. Don't close this one. Open another window. Go over to YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed to the Hobo with Wood Chips channel, you need to go over and subscribe to that channel now. Hobo with Wood Chips. That's strictly the majority of you that are watching this channel have said that you did not want to see the two commingling on a regular basis. Tonight is a special occasion because more viewers, more opportunities to give away this on tonight's stream. But after we do a little Lightburn tutorial, see here, turn that off. But like, share, and subscribe. All right. And hello, Melissa. Thank you. God bless you. All right. So I want to show you. And this people ask me a lot, man, how do you come up with this? Where'd you get that idea? Where'd you? Well, I am. I do not have an endless supply of ideas, uh, and I can be creative once I'm inspired, but inspiration doesn't always strike. And right now I can't see, so I'm knuckling the glasses. Uh, so I don't make any qualms about it. I will use Google and go out there and find the inspiration and then take that idea and make it my own. Don't copy anything that I see, but I will use, Google searches for inspiration. That's better. All right. Hey, look at there. All right. Meal Mage is not free. There is a 30-day trial, free, and then it's just like Lightburn. It's almost identical to Lightburn in its appearance and the way that it functions and operates. You're just learning the whole new functions of the CNC world. And thank you again for that. All right. So if I was looking for an inspiration, I did the coffins last week. I said, all right, let's do another Halloween themed design. And so I went over to Google, and you can actually see the Google search that I put in here. Wrong camera, dummy. Let's switch and switch and switch. There we go. So I put in popular laser cut Halloween decorations, and it come up with all these different possibilities here. But this one was over here, and I said, okay, that I kind of like that, and it's in there somewhere. I said, all right. But I seen that one. I was like, okay, that looks like my Spider-Man theme kind of thing I've got going. I have there it is right there. And I said, okay, that's kind of cool. And I scrolled on down and I'm looking. I'm like, that's neat. And all of these, even the haunted house that's in here, all of these, a lot of these are wing dings or ding wings or wing-a-ling ding ding dongs. I don't know what they're, but people are not using, they're using fonts to create these things. But there's a common theme with every one of these web designs that I have a problem with. And I've got two webs on Lightburn here. Oh, wrong button. Come to Papa. All right, I got two webs on Lightburn here. And you can use a V-cut on the CNC. Where he was asking about laser. Those were, and that's why I'm trying not to, we don't want to get, it's a good idea that I do have the two different channels. And tonight we're talking about both. Right now we're talking about laser work. We're giving away a CNC, but we're talking about using lasers tonight. And you cannot do the 45 on the lasers. It is a straight 90-degree cut. All right. So there was something about all of those, the web designs that I did not like. And I want to show you two webs side by side. And who can tell me what the difference is? Well, some of those were symmetrical, Mike. Yep. And Chris says the common theme is they're stolen from someone else. Web offsets. No, it's different, something different. Somebody's going to see it. Webs of deceit. The arc, the angle of the arc. I think you are talking about what yes. Well, Chicago Bob says, I think the one on the right, the spider was drunk, but was he? because it's the curves, it's the angle of the arc, as Terry said. And Sharon says they are identical except they're mirrored. Nope, they're far from identical. The one on the right has the arcs wrong. No, sir, Jeff. The one on the right is the one that's correct. The one on the right is all drooping down. Think about it. These are webs that the spiders spun, and someone mentioned that a lot of those other ones we've seen, they're all symmetrical. I don't know how many pedantic spiders we have. I think I got it right off the. See, I've got it. Pedantic. I don't think there's too many pedantic spiders that make everything perfectly symmetrical. You'll see some that have straight and angled off crazy. So you'll see some irregular paths. But gravity's going to affect those webs. All right. The sags should all be sagging down. That's, as he says, the gravity affects the one on the right. Gravity. Gravity is the difference. And they looks like they might have been mirrored, but that might have been just an accident whenever I was putting it was an accident when I was putting it up here. So back over here, because if I take that and just, oops, I didn't get it all. It's not grouped. Let's get it all. Group it and mirror that. There we go. Well, they're close. They're still not right. But they're different. But the biggest difference is I've got the webs all being affected by gravity. These are not being affected by gravity. And if we go back over to all of these, you can see every one of them. They curve up. They curve up. Every single web has it curving up. Here, those are curving down, but then those curve up. So every single spider web that I see out there that somebody has offered, as Chris says, maybe somebody's copied the same one 40 times and everybody's using it. And it may even be a font. It may be a common font that people use. But I don't like the symmetry, and some of us don't believe in gravity. Whatever that force is should be affecting those webs, and they should all be drooping downwards. So make your design more realistic. And where did my Lightburn go? There it is, and there you are. Okay. So here, if you already have a web and you don't want to go out and start all over, well, you don't have to. If we select this web, we ungroup everything, and we go into node editing, and I want to make this one drooping down, I'm going to come here. I'm going to be sure and not touch my corners. Letter D to delete. I'm just going to do one or two of these just so you see how quick and easy it can be. Grab everything but the corners and delete those nodes. And that's a perfect straight line. Now I'm looking at it, and this one's already lower on this side over here. This is higher up. So if gravity is going to affect this, it's not going to affect it and just pull it straight down and curve it the middle. It's going to have a little whoppy jawed. It's going to be a little cattywampus. It's going to be like that. And I can come up here and do the same thing. Grab those, letter D to delete those close to the corner. D, and do the same thing. Just look at it and see where it would droop from, and just grab that straight line and droop it down. And work your way around and do that. And you don't have to do them all. Once you get up here where they're kind of vertical, You might even straighten those out, because why are they curved to the middle? Why it's not a black hole pulling them in. So why would they even be doing that? So maybe they actually should just be lines, and maybe just a little bit of a droop, maybe where they're heavy, the weight of them, something like that. But it's not a vortex. It's not a black hole. Everything's not being drawn to the middle of that web. So there's no point and nothing realistic about having all of those arcs pulling into the center. And then if you get to a piece like this one right here, let's see where, I want to, well, we'll do this one. We'll come back over here. If you're looking at this and you're like, you know what, I don't like how high this one is. If you go back to node editing and you just grab these two nodes, you could grab all four, but I'm going to grab those two right now. I grabbed both of those. I turned red, and I'm going to drag those down here. And I'll grab these two and then just drag those, keeping my, the proximity to the other parallel line right there, keep that kind of the same. And I can just change the position of that by moving those two anchor points. By eliminating all the other nodes in between those two, I'm able to move that entire piece just by moving two nodes on either side. You could grab all four of them if I had them now in the right arc, and now bring that, I grabbed the bottom ones, didn't mean to do that. Grab those, there we go. And you can slide it up. Now, because it's getting narrower at the top, that didn't work out so well. So I'll put those back there and then grab those two and pull those in. Node editing can be so much fun, and it's you might have to be of the mindset that I used to really love string art, where I'd take a string and just wrap it around one nail, go to the next one, wrap one nail, go to the next one. This is kind of what that is like. It's connect the dots, dot to dots, and string art, and don't be afraid, because if you mess up something, Control Z, undo, or the back button, and it comes right back. You didn't ruin anything. So, let's see. And that's good. I love seeing that. So a lot of you've learned one or two things already in just that quick little demo. Love it. That's what we're here. We're here. You're not here to win a CNC tonight. You're here to learn something, right? All right. So I took that idea of the spider web, but I didn't want it to be circular like theirs was. Some of them were circular. Some of them, I wanted to just, again, make it my own, make it unique. Well, that was really difficult to do. I come in here, and in fact, since this one's all wrong, we'll go ahead and get rid of that one. I actually got to go to selector tool. Come over to this one, ungroup it, delete that outer ring. And now I'm like, okay, well, wait a minute. Now it's not, these need to be closed. Well, you can real quickly just draw a line. It needs to be on the red path. We need to put it on the same cut layer. There we go. It's on the same layer. And then go back to my pencil tool. And I'm just going to come around here and draw a line, and hit left click to start. And everywhere it's open, like that one probably needed to be changed, but I'll left click to stop, right click to stop completely. So left click, right click, left click, right click, left click, right click. left, left, right. That's the way I used to march in high school marching band. Left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, and left, left, right. Now, I didn't worry about positioning. I didn't worry about angle. I didn't worry about anything. I just closed those off. Now I'll take my scissors, come over here and cut, 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 cut all those that going around the outermost perimeter. And then come here to my lines and cut off the excess. And as I do, they're closing the shape. Do. Almost done. And the last one. All right. So now I've got a completely closed. You can see how the path is one continuous row of ants going all the way across. It's closed up. That line is closed. And if I wanted to change the length of a few of them, then I can select, go back to node editing. Let's see, I can't do it in node editing first. I got to select it first. Select that, go back to node editing, grab those two nodes, and just stretch that line out. And then if I want to curve that, just put a little curve right there. Grab that and pull it out. Maybe that one doesn't need to be stretched at all. Just put a curve on it. And do that all the way around till you get the shape of the web that you want it to be in. And then you've got that basic shape of the web that I have here in yellow. So let's go back up here. Let's see here. Go back up, go back up, go back up. Okay, I forgot to mark my spot, but there we go. What about the long spoke lines? Shouldn't the horizontal ones also have droop? Possibly. Possibly. And that would be, and I'm thinking about it. The ones that are close to being perfectly horizontal, yeah, you might have a little. Then those are the ones that got the lines that were pretty vertical and you didn't put much curve in them at all. Well, then maybe you would put a little droop in the horizontal part. Why not? Gravity's going to affect it. Wouldn't hurt. All right. And that would be easy enough to do. Just selecting all the nodes. That'd be a little bit more challenging because you're going to have to keep your, there's no way to actually curve just the bottom because that, like one horizontal I'm looking at is going to have 2, 4, 6, 8 nodes in the middle plus the end nodes, 10 nodes total. And now you want to curve all those. So you'd have to, you move the innermost further down than the next one, a little bit less, So doing those wouldn't be quite as easy as doing the others. And just doing what I did makes it a whole lot more believable than that, realistic looking than the other ones. I've learned so much from Hobo, and now I have the ability to make my own boxes along with the lid. Yay! Robert's been working. In fact, he and I've been live a couple times in the past week, and he messaged me the other day and says, I need to do this. And I said, well, good. Do it. That's the best practice you can get is don't be intimidated. Just go at it. And I said, you've seen the basics. You know how to do this. You got it. And send me if you have a problem. Send it to me. I'll look at it. found one or two issues, and by helping him see where it's at, uh, it helps him have a better understanding on how to get to that finished piece. And he's done it. And they look good. Spiders actually have tension on the web in areas to counter that. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking too, is because there is tension in the web, because that's how the spiders know something's hit it, right? When the moth hits it and starts fluttering around, if the web didn't have tension in it, then he'd never know he had a treat. So yeah, good catch, Chris. You wouldn't know with all them crazy spiders you got down yonder. You're not a good doctor. Your stitches are all over the place. Did I fail marching band? I did not fail marching band, but I remember I don't know my left from my right. So when I said I went left, left, right, maybe I was actually just doing left, right, because I don't know my left from my right. I would challenge that, Jay. Jay says all web segments end and start from the same position as they go around and attach to the radial parts of the web. Spider doesn't usually create random segments. Jay, I lived on a boat for 7 years. And the one thing that prior to moving onto that boat, I had the god awfulest fear of spiders. I hate spiders. Spiders just hate them. But I had to learn to not be afraid, but not only not be afraid, but to embrace spiders. Because when you're living in a marina, spiders can be your best friends on keeping the bugs down, keeping the mosquitoes down. And I have had to take down my fair share of spider webs around all the radar arches and all the stuff around the boat. And yeah, spider webs I'm familiar with. I haven't seen that many symmetrical spider webs. Let's see here. Those webs are strong and only bend after 1 foot long. Yep, that's what I was saying. They need that tension to feel when something lands there. Doing the drooping might also be a use for using the 16 point. Well, no, because the 16 point deformation selection is going to morph the entire thing, and then you're going to have the whole thing wanting to look like it's melting, and you don't want to do that. You only want to affect just the radials, just those webs. It depends on how strong the spider is, can pull the strings tighter. Pretty sure the reason they started making the website look like that is because of orb weavers. I found you today and inspired to create a lantern. Watched your video over and over and created the panels. Awesome. Thank you. Good. Excellent. Love it. Oh, wait a minute. This is a strange topic to join in the middle of. We're making spider webs. Just got on here and heard him talk about spider web tension. I shut her a second as his brain was like, whoa, wait a minute. Yeah, I got you. Uh-huh. All right. Can you show us what happens with the 16 point? Sure, Connie. All right. So let's go over here and pull that web back in here. So this is what I started with. And we're not even going to worry about getting rid of that and closing all those in. But if we group this, go into the deform selection, 16 points. So that gives us all of that. Now, I got the wrong web. Way to go, dummy. Way to go, dummy. Let's grab the one that's not. There we go. That's the one we want. because these have got the arcs going up. That's a vortex, pulling it to the center. We don't want that. We want them drooping down. So if we go into the tools, deform selection, then we want to pull these down. Well, I can come in here to the middle, because if I come in here and start pulling it from in here, see, it's not really pulling those radials down, and it's pulling the whole bottom down. And so if I undo that and I just come in here and leave the bottom alone and grab these closer to the radials, see, it's going to pull the entire image. What in the world is that over there? How'd that get there? Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Oh, it must not have been grouped whenever I moved it. Anyway, but you can see there. In fact, that's messing me up. Control Z, go away. Go away. There it is. Deform tools, deform selection. No, that's weird. I did see how that jumped over there. Look at that, Chris. Call Lightburn, call Oz, wherever he's at. Get him out of bed and tell him he needs to fix this right now, whatever's going on. Control Z, undo. Because that's even grouped. If I select just that piece right there, it's a grouped image. That shouldn't happen, boys and girls. It is grouped, Jack. It's grouped. So if I go to tools, deform selection, and I start deforming it, see what happens. And we didn't want to pull those down. If I want to concentrate on, let's put that back and put that back up. There we go. And I'm wanting to just try and bend those radials. It's making it sag. I've got to, in order to start getting those to droop down, I got to really start droop and sagging that whole thing before those begin to start to move downward. So the deform selection don't work. You do have to do them individually. And you've seen it, it's really quick. It's not hard to do. And you're only doing the bottom half of the web. And then if you're smart and you do like I did, once you've got the image the way you want it, you put it over here in your art library. And then next time I need one, I don't need to go in and edit it all. There it is. There's my spider web that's been completely modified. So I'm going to get rid of this one because it's not grouped. Just get rid of that. So this is the one that I modified for my project. And when I was done, I put it in my art library. So now I've got a web over here for the next time I need it. So especially if you're going to spend 5 or 10 minutes working on a design, save it. If you don't save it as a file, just save it as some in your art library. That way you ain't got to do it again. So Connie asked about, can we show it? So there you go, Connie. Yeah, it don't work for this purpose. It has a purpose, but this ain't it. Other Steve, we started about we're talking about designs. All right. The spider had his web anchored on the right. You made Spider-Man head for a second. I've actually got Spidey. And I drew this, Connie, in Lightburn. It's not something that I copied. There's Spidey. He's a real easy figure to draw. I've been drawing him since about 4th grade. Or since, 2 or 3 years ago. All right, so there. In fact, I'm going to mark the spot this time. Mark that. And now let's go back over here, get rid of Spidey. And if you're a Spidey fan, if you go on the Hobo with Wood website, I've got a really, really cool multi-layer Spidey sign that you can personalize and put, grandkid's name or in there, whatever. It's really a really cool design. So delete that and switch back over here. All right, now let's go up here and let's get a text. And we're going to do let's say all caps, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then we're going to do, what was that? Was it creepy? No. You know, you would have thought that I would be, wasn't Halloween. You'd have thought that I'd been prepared for this, but I wasn't going to plan on doing this. This part of it anyway. I was just going to show you I can't remember what that wing-a-ding-ding was. Freaky Halloween. Thank you, Lyle. Freaky. Thank you. Thank you, Radu, Chris, all of you. Thank you. It was freaky. Freaky. There it is. Right there. Yep. It didn't. That's why I didn't see it, because in the drop-down menu, it didn't have a name. It just had it all spelled out using the symbols. Freaky. There it is. All right. So there's, all right. So that was A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So there's my spider, G, H, I. All right. And so G and I are spiders and bats. So I is bat, and G is my spider. And we'll make him a little bit bigger. And it didn't matter that he turned. I'm going to bring him down here. Bring him over here. Then I did in fact, just for giggles, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding, the font, and Halloween. Is that it? Was it? Boys and girls, I apologize that I did not better prepare for this. And I know y'all here. We got 150 of you. Y'all, you know what? Let's see here. We're going to continue with this. But let's give away a CNC. Hashtag MyCubico. Hashtag MyCubico. Start putting your entries in now. Let's do it. Somebody's going to get a cool toy, a cool toy. Hashtag MyCubico. And we're going to let y'all keep entering there. Now, I will tell you that you can put it in 20 times. It's only going to count once. Doesn't matter how many times you put it in. But if you're slick and you're logged in right now with one or two different emails, watching the stream on multiple windows, and you can enter 2 or 3 times that way. if you were smart and thought about it. But we're going to let this run. We got 91, 92 entries. We got 150, 160 people watching. We'll let this continue to accumulate for a little bit. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do I'm going to find that font. See, import, file, import from the desktop, from e-commerce, and that was Halloween wall art. And what'd you do? No, not that, dummy. Halloween hanger, dummy. There we go. And I'm wondering, did all of that get changed to? It all got changed to a path. All right. That didn't help none. All right. I have no sound. Why don't you have sound? I don't show mic, and my mic shows working. And Melissa says she can hear me. Yeah, that's wrong live show. Yeah, I don't know why y'all were saying no sound. Maybe it was just Johnny that was having an issue. Maybe when you were typing in my Cubiko, you might have accidentally muted it. Had to read lips. All right. Okay. We'll keep letting them run up. And like I said, as long as I see people typing in my Cubiko, we're going to let this run a little bit because I want to give everybody a chance. And I will show that again. So it's just like that. My Cubiko, no spaces, no dashes. No matter how many times you enter or you type it in, only one entry counts. So once you've entered, don't bother keep doing it, because what I'm waiting for is to see people stop entering, and then we'll draw. But as long as I keep seeing people popping in, I'm going to let it keep counting up. All right, so let's go back over here for everybody that has entered. This is a font. That's a letter G, I think it was. So I'm going to duplicate that. I'll rotate it at a different angle. I'll resize it. Duplicate it again, rotate it, and resize it again. And then move them into different positions. Oh, I didn't want to do that. All right. And then I will take and select all three of them. Come on. There you go. Group them. And I'm going to put them in the center like that. Now I'll take that group and I'm going to do an offset outward of, we'll do 2 millimeter outward offset and say, don't delete the original. Say, okay. Select the resulting objects. That's good. And then with those selected, hold shift and select my web and just weld it together. Oh, not weld it. I need to make it union, I think. Control Z. Go back here. Yeah, union. So there. So now I've got, did that not work? I don't think that worked. Let's move my bats out the way. That and that. And Boolean assistant, Boolean union. There we go. And say okay. There we go. I must hit cancel instead of okay. So there is the spider web and the bats will go on there. So there's one layer. The bats are going to be at the top layer. The spider is going to be attached to the word Halloween. And if I can find that Halloween font, which I can't find it right now, we'll just use any old font. And cap locks off. No, actually do cap locks on. Resize it. And I did a 2mm offset on the bats, but I might do this one a little bit bigger. Put it in the center of the web. And then select the font. And we'll do an outward offset of 3mm and say okay. Then I want to do that same union. So that was selected. Select my web and union and okay. So now I've got my Halloween in my web. Now I want to put the spider on the word Halloween. And I want to make sure it's positioned in a good place on the web too. And I'm going to actually, that one, I'm going to bring it right up here above. I'm going to overlap the L. And I'm going to do an offset of this spider, the same I did for Halloween. So I just say 3mm, say okay. So now I'm going to take that offset and put it with the web. So the union, spider's still separate, and the word Halloween is separate. Now I'll take that spider, that, and do this the same union there. So now Halloween has got the spider attached to it with an offset for it to sit on the web. Now I need a backing piece. If I select that entire piece and just do an offset and do outer shapes only, and I'll give it a 5mm or let's go 10mm offset and say okay. And there is my backboard. There's my spider web with the offsets for the bats and the words. There are my individual bats that go on another layer. And there's the Halloween word with the spider on it. That's a pretty darn easy design to do. So, going back up here to where all of it started. Okay, there's good. All right. No sound, no sound. Yeah, I got sound. No sound. I got sound. Okay, Cubiko. I don't think the caps matter. Cubiko. All right. So, are we ready? Somebody's getting a toy. Somebody's getting a toy. All right. So, we got 167 people watching, and I'm going to say we have 132 entries. Let me switch screens so everybody can see this in real time. And you know what's going on, and there's no sleight of hand. There's no Penn and Teller going on here. 133 inches or 133 inches, 133 entries. Somebody's getting a toy. In fact, before I do that, channel dashboard, go back over here, That's good right there, and refresh. Okay, so 15 of you went over and subscribed to the channel since we went live. So thank you for that. For the 15 who did make the effort that's watching that wasn't already subscribed to Hobo with Wood Chips, thank you. Thank you. Now, back to the giveaway. And we've had a few more entries. 258 rather. It was 240, 43. Now we're at 258. So 15 people joined up, and I appreciate it. All right. No, it was not an intentional tease. All right. So y'all ready for a drawing? Here we go. 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 Take Chris off there. Now that was a tease. I'm sorry. Oh, don't spit my Mountain Dew. Love you. Mean it. Okay. Yeah, you can type in as many times as you want. People can enter 20 times. You can see people type it in 20 times, but it only counts one time whenever they type it in the first time. So if they've typed in 15 times, they've just got a finger workout. All right. Let's see. Go back up here, turn Carl off. Somebody's winning a toy. Scott Burgum. Scott, congratulations, sir. Congratulations, man. You are going to enjoy this. Scott, if you will send me your email, or not your email, your shipping information, I'm sure I've got it. But send me an email, separate email, hobowithwood@gmail.com. Cubiko winner is the subject matter with your shipping information. And all of this is still boxed in the factory stuff. It's brand new, never been opened, but there are going to be multiple boxes. You're going to have one big box for the Cubiko. Then I'm going to I'll put a lot of the stuff in another separate box, but it'll be the laser module, the spindle, the other accessories, the dust shoe. So you can expect at least 2 boxes from me. So depending on how the carrier handles it, you might have 1 box show up one day and 1 box show up the next day. But send me an email, hobowithwood@gmail.com, and we will send that out to you. Today is Saturday, so it'll leave my place on Monday, and then you'll be able to get set up. I encourage you, go back, and there's nothing to it. You take it out of the box, plug it up, and it's ready to go. There's not a lot of assembly or setup involved. If you haven't watched my video on the dust shoe, go watch the video on the dust shoe after we finish this live stream. It is crucial that you do not do what I did with the dust shoe. Don't do what I did. So watch the video so you know what not to do. All right. Let's see here. Yep, Scott, my 2-liter, I didn't have a cold RC, so I ended up having to go with the dew that Dad drinks. I had to steal one of Dad's dew today. Still wanted Dad's dews. All right, lots of congratulations. Get on down here. Scott, we got a problem. Lynn says he identifies as a Scott Burgum, so I don't know who to send this to. Can you show how to send a file from Lightburn? How to send a file from what? From where to what? From Lightburn to where? I'll be happy to. How do you send a file from Lightburn to someone else, to Millmage, to Santa Claus? Where do you want to send it? How do you want to send it? What you talking about, Lyle? I'll be glad to do that. from me to you. Okay. And notice how the drawing, the number of people. Yeah, I did. And I expected that. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, Desert Flowers. All right. So, Lyle, how do you send a file from me to you? All right. Easy peasy. If you go over to what your email, we'll go to my email and oh yeah, okay. No biggie. Maybe a little bit distracting. But that's a easy fix. That's a flag case from earlier today. No, you don't. That looks better. Okay. Inbox. All right. Compose. Let's make that a big screen. There we go. Cover everything up. All right. So if you have a file that it's a Lightburn file, and if you ever have a design issue, a question, problem that you're needing some assistance from me, I cannot help you if you don't send me the file. So many things are lost in communication and lost in translation when people say, yeah, I'm doing this and this is what I'm doing. I need to do that, but I can't get this to work. Well, there's 1,000 reasons why it might not work. Maybe it's because it's grouped. Maybe because it ain't grouped and it should be grouped. I need to see where you're at with your design and what you're doing before I can be of any assistance to you. So to send me a message saying I need help figuring this out without sending me what it is you're working on doesn't do any one of us either any good. So when you do need to send me a file, you're working in Lightburn and you're having a Lightburn question or problem. You've saved your files before. You know where you save your files. So go over and compose a message. And you're going to send it to hobowithwood@gmail.com. And you're going to send me a request for help. And you can tell me what all you have got going on, right, left, right, left, right. Then you're going to do it as an attachment. This is Gmail. There's no telling what you're using, but they're all going to have a place for you to do an attachment. Then you attach wherever you have it saved. And you're going to go to that file. And find it. Here I've got them in an AI format, DXF. This is the Lightburn format and SVG. You could send me all those, but why bother sending me the SVG of a Lightburn file? Just send me the Lightburn file. So you grab that and say open, and it's going to attach it to your email, and you say send. And then there it is right there. I have a request for help. So requesting help and attaching a file is easy. If you're already gone, I'm sorry for your loss. I feel you. That's the reason I had this up here today. Is a friend of the family. Actually, funeral passed coming up Monday night, and I've actually made the flag case, and not the case, but the nameplate for the family. We got funeral to do Monday. I feel you. So if you're already gone, my condolences and thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. All right. So did everybody see that recap on that design, or were you too busy doing my Cubiko? It's the easiest thing in the world to do. You create the offsets and then weld the offset or make a union the offsets into the web, and then you keep your originals to go on top of the offsets. Super simple. and using those ding-a-lings and the wing-dings and the wing-dongs and the ding-dongs to create your artwork save you a whole lot of time as long as you can remember what they're called. So, all right. Close that and got that. And all right. So, questions, comments? It's something I probably should do. In fact, what I could and should do is the ones, because that one's the freaky Halloween or freaky whatever it was. There was only capital letters, only A through Z. There was only 26 characters in it. Create a Halloween art library and then put all of those in there and save it instead of numbering it or calling it a bat or whatever. Save it as a capital A, capital B. You can actually save it as the actual letter. And you know what? Does anybody here not know how to set up a library? Would anybody like to see actually how to create and store and create that art library, start to finish? Anybody want to see that? Anybody need to see that? There was some talk about seeing reflections in it, and so we took it down just to keep that cleared up. Okay, so Connie says yes. All right, so since Connie's so excited, let's do this for Connie. It's all about Connie. No, it ain't. It's about James too, and James is even more. Yes, he's got all kinds of exclamation points in there. Okay, there we go. Now there. Yes, please. All right, so let's do this. All right, if you have not set up your art libraries, if you've not done any art libraries, then you need to have a designated place that you know where they're going to be and they're in the same place, and you're always going to put them in that same location. All right. And I didn't pay any attention because I was so busy watching the entries. I didn't pay any attention to that, Robert. And that's a personal preference. You can make it solid or you can cut them out. People do it both ways. Okay. So go back over here. All right. In fact, let me see. Do I have a Halloween? Hello. I got a Halloween 3. No, I don't. Okay. So this will be good. All right. If you do not have any art libraries, you have 0 art libraries. It's going to be your very first one. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with multiple art libraries because you have them saved in 3 different places. I don't know who would do something like that. You may have this as a default in the Lightburn folder. You may not. It's been so long since I've done this. I don't remember if it was already there, if I did it. But let's go back over here. Lightburn. And I'm going to go to my desktop. My file explorer, rather. There we go. And on my desktop is where I have my Lightburn folder, the Lightburn program. If I open that, I've got art libraries, cut libraries, jobs, files, material test. I've got a bunch of folders in here. But here's my art library folder. So I would recommend, just so you know where everything's at, go into your Lightburn folder where everything's downloaded. Check and see if that's not already there. Again, like I said, that may have been a default, or it might have been something I set up 3 years ago. I don't remember. but put it in a space that you know it's always going to be in. And then here you can see all of my art libraries. I've got a bunch of art libraries. But once you've created a folder and a destination, then you can go back to your Lightburn. And we're going to get rid of all of this. And we're going to come here to Freaky Halloween, and we're going to grab our Freaky Halloween. And we know that it's A through Z, all capitals. So I'm going to, and I'm going to use Chris's suggestion last week, which is really, really good suggestion. I'm going to come in here, and since it's going to be more in our space, I'm going to come up here, start typing my alphabet: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. All right. So now I've got that entire list out there. I'm going to duplicate it, Control D, drop that down, and I'm going to change the font type and looking for something that's closer to the overall length. I can stretch it out a little bit and make it work. Looking for, what was that? Creepy. What did I say? Creepy. Oh, creepy girl. Ariel. There we go. And then I'm going to hold Control and draw that out to about there. There we go. That's a really close proximity. All right. So now I got an idea of what letters are what. And if I had to, I could do them individually. But here, I don't have a folder called Halloween. So I've set up my destination I'm going to save the art libraries in. But now I want to create a library, an art library that's going to be named, I'm going to name this one specifically Halloween. And it's going to go to that destination there. Do the keyboard symbols have something as well? Not in this font. This font is strictly A through Z, capitals only. Some of them you'll have uppercase, lowercase, numbers, symbols. It'll be a full keyboard. But in this particular font, it was only 26 characters, all caps, A through Z. Before I get too far down this path, let me look here. Have a good night. Andy's out. And that was that. Got that. About art libraries, I use Lightburn on 2 computers, both using same OneDrive for storage. On laptop continuously has jobs in Lightburn with no art libraries, or just not at all saved. One laptop continuously has jobs in Lightburn with no art libraries, or just not at all saved libraries. I don't follow you, Glenn. I don't follow you there. The font this one doesn't have any alternate character. Hold down Alt, then type the number. Yeah. This one, I know because in DeFont will show you everything. DeFont shows you every character that's in there. I know there's nothing else in this font. It's only the 26 characters. That's kind of why I got it, because it was simple. All right. So I've created my destination where I'm going to save them at. Now I need to go into Lightburn and create the actual art library. So I come over here in Lightburn and I say art library new, it's going to come over here and it's asking me for where I'm going to put this library. I've got to go back to that destination, go back to that one I just set up and created, art library right here. So I went to my desktop, found my Lightburn folder, and then I opened up that. So this is where I want it to be. And now I come down here and I give it a name. And this was going to be called Halloween. And my cap locks is on. Let's turn that off and try again. Halloween. And say save. Now, so I've already got one that's Halloween 3D. It's just going to be Halloween and say save. And that immediately created the art library over here for me. I've got one over there now that says Halloween. There's nothing in it, but I've created the destination, then come over here and said new, went to that destination, gave it a name, and it immediately populated into my art library menu. Okay. Lightburn doesn't like cloud storage. Yeah. Okay. That's what he's talking about in OneDrive. Okay. I didn't follow exactly what he was doing. I didn't follow what his, I didn't pick up what he was laying down. All right. So now I've got A through Z, all caps. I know this which is A. So I can select, well, actually those are all, because this is a font, when I type that out as text, that's one long line of text. Now I could simply select, it's all selected. I can go convert to path right now. And then that will allow me to pick individual designs, or I can just go down to the bottom, click on A, B, and I actually could have done that without even doing the other. I didn't even need to do all that up there. I can just come down here. I've got my freaky Halloween. Come in here, and I'm going to type the letter A. Let's go to cap lock A. There's a witch. And you notice when I took the cap locks off, I had a regular A, because it's only on caps on this Freaky Friday or Freaky Halloween. So now what I can do is with that selected, and you know what? Actually, because this is a text, because this is a font, I think, well, let's just see. I'm wondering if I save this, if I import this into the art library, is it going to remain a font, or will that action by itself convert it to a path? Let's find out. So I've got the witch. Now I want to bring this witch into my library, import graphic from project right here. Got it selected. It's the only thing selected. And now what I want to call it, I'm going to call it A. Put my capital locks on. A, capital A, and say okay. That's going to bring in a capital A that named it, and I've got my witch. Now what I'm curious about, let's delete that. Now when I want to use that again, if I just double click it, it can bring it in. Or I can just go over here and grab it and drag it in. I'm wondering if this has been converted to a path, or is this still a font? So I'm going to, well, actually I can tell. Yeah, it's recognizing that as a font. That's still a font. It's not a path. Convert to a path. So now I've got a decision to make. No, I don't. This is not a decision to make. It's already made for me. Here's the problem with doing this. These are letters. This is a capital A that looks like a witch. And if I leave this as a capital A, and put it in there and then bring it in. And I use it 6 months from now in a design or an art piece. And then I save it and send it out. You don't have freaky Halloween font in your Lightburn. Lightburn is supposed to, whenever a font is used in a design that you don't have, when you go to import that file into Lightburn, it is supposed to automatically convert that font to a path so you don't lose anything. All right. It's no longer editable. You can't change the font or the text or the words. It's now a path and no longer a letter. But what I've ran into, while Lightburn is supposed to do that, and it does it 98.99% of the time, every once in a while, it does some funky things to fonts that you don't have. It can mirror them. It can flip them. It can make them jump way over here. So since I know that this is a potential issue, and I don't want to have a problem, you may never have that problem if you're not selling or distributing your files amongst other engravers and it's only your personal use, then you wouldn't need to convert this. But what I'm going to do, before I put this into my library, I'm going to convert them to a path, still call them by the letter that they are, so I'll know what they were. But we'll see how all that goes too here. Let's see here. So y'all talking about the cloud stuff, got that done. Name could have been there. Name could have been there since last used. Check. No, as soon as the name is highlighted and you can change it. If the fact that it's highlighted and you can change it tells me it's still a font. I didn't need to check it. If it was grayed out and you couldn't change the font, then it's not a font. All right. So back here. So now what I'm going to do is, this is still a font. I'm going to right click it, convert it to a path. Now it's a path. I'm going to import that to my library, and I'm going to call it capital A as well. And now I've already got one over here called A. I've got this one. I'm going to turn this on right here. Well, I don't have that able to turn it on. I'm going to turn on overwrite by default, but I can just say okay. And it's going to say, hey, wait a minute. You've already got this. Do you want to replace it? Yes, I do. So now that's no longer a font in there. That is a path. So I can just change that out, grab my next one, come over here and do B. So witch's hat. Convert to a path, import B. So I didn't need all that list up there. That was a good idea, Chris, but for to create this library, I don't need it. C. And I'm not going to do all of these right now. Convert to a path, import graphic, C. Delete that. D. Convert to a path. I got the selector, convert to a path, import D. Delete. E. Convert to a path. I got the selector. Import E. And so on and so forth. And that is how you set up your file destination, create your file names, and every time you set up a file, we ran into this with somebody last week or a week before. They said they weren't always getting their art libraries. They weren't always being pulled in. And I think we discovered it was because, as Craig kind of joked about a minute ago, the art libraries were in different locations. And Lightburn is going to one location as a preference to pull in your art libraries. And if you've got your art libraries on your desktop, in this folder, and over there on that folder, on this OneDrive, it ain't going to pull them in. It's going to pull in some of them, but it ain't going to pull them all in. Put them all in one location. And from what y'all were talking about earlier, it needs to be on the local drive to prevent any issues. Yes, escape would make you back to the selector tool. I always forget that. Did Craig leave us? Well, Greg, thank you for your support. You may be already gone. Uh, Craig shared with us last week, or he's had some back surgery, and he's been some of his messages I've gotten is a that boy ain't feeling no pain right now. Like, whoa. All right. All right. Here, I don't even know. This is a long one. Interesting problem with Lightburn. It does grayscale 120 by 120 at 254, increased to 300 by 300, and laser complains of corrupted G codes and hangs. Anyone else seeing this runs in laser Gerbil? I guess I'm not doing any grayscale work. Anybody else doing any grayscale images and seeing a similar issue like this? Anybody that can help Cloudfather out? Chris, you got any ideas or suggestions? Oh. All right. And anybody got any more questions, or did I lose anybody in setting up the art libraries? Any questions or follow-ups about that? It's really pretty simple. How about it, Miss Melissa? You got it? Jay says I have problems with offset, picking inside out bid, or inside outside, or both. All give me the same outcome. Well, that shouldn't be. Jay, this is one of those instances where I would need to see the file, see the piece that you're working with. And Chris says, no, only the graphics chip may be having problems with it. Lightburn and Laser Gerbil handle graphics differently. Yeah, I've not ever had any experience with the Laser Gerbil. So did you get it? We do. You good? Are you good? You good? You good? Oh, well, that might explain everything. Jay says he's created a circle. He's using Mac, but he says whenever he creates a circle and does an offset, it doesn't matter what he chooses. It gets the same result. And that shouldn't be, because I'm using a PC, and if I draw out a circle and I come over here to my offset tool and I do an outward offset of 10 millimeters, there's the dotted sign is my original. There's outward, there's inward, and there's both. So what you're describing, I've not seen an issue with that. How about you there, Mr. Chris? He's saying that when he does an offset of a circle with his Mac, it doesn't matter if he does outward, inward, or both, they all create the exact same one. And you're saying it's a path. Well, even if I've changed it to a path from a circle, it shouldn't make any difference. And then you go back here, there. So I created a perfect circle. I'll convert it to a path. Now that it's a path, and I go to my offset tool, there's outward, there's inward, and there's both. Yeah, that's me too. I'm sorry, Jay. I'm sorry. I wished you weren't in that camp. I had that conversation with my sister this week. I have never been fan of anything to do with anything Apple, Mac, any of that stuff. I'm PC and Android. Always have been. I was Android before there was Android. Uh, I just had bugs with Lightburn offset as well. I'm using the HP laptop. Well, there you go. You're using a laptop. Closed Lightburn, came back, no issue. Next did same. Yeah, you can the graphics and the resolution and laptops will wreak havoc on Lightburn. I have a laptop that I will use in the camper, the RV, when I want to do just some basic designing stuff. If it's time to do get serious, I get off the laptop. And anybody who has not pulled the trigger and still using the laptop or a Mac, you just keep in mind, just right around the corner is going to be Black Monday, Cyber Monday, and that's when I bought my tower. And the tower I bought is actually it wasn't an iTower, but it was something like that, where I just bought the tower, but it was a tower for gaming. So it's, lots of memory, lots of, really high graphics card. It's done for gaming. So, it's pretty fast. And then I just set up some, cheap monitors so I can have, a little dual thing going on here, but it wasn't a whole lot of money, especially on Cyber Monday, because I don't have a whole lot of money. That's why I had to wait till Cyber Monday. But a decent tower for gaming is perfect for Lightburn. I don't. I don't even know if this particular tower is even still available. Well, let's see. Yeah, it is. It's way back in the day. You go out to Best Buy and it was iTower, but this one was called I Buy Power. I Buy Power. And it was just the best buy at the time on Amazon for Black Monday or Cyber Monday. So it wasn't that I was overly attached to that particular one, but it was just a great price on a gaming PC. But I Buy Power is one I've got. Yeah, because nobody uses them from computers that they're yeah. Jack says he only uses laptops. I'm guessing you got some decent laptops with really good resolution. Because if you got a high enough resolution, then you don't have, because this is from the horse's mouth. Oz told me that all of the problems that come, 99% of the problems that come from working with the laptop are all because of resolution issues. There's a whole lot more issues with USBs going to sleep and power saving issues and all kinds of stuff you run into on battery operated laptops. If you're plugged in, you're never working off the battery, then that kind of becomes kind of a moot point. But you have to go in and turn off power saving modes, all kinds of things. Make sure USBs don't go to sleep. It was just a whole lot of problems with the laptop for me. I don't want to do that. I encourage you to get off a laptop as quick as you can. You don't have the circle option? I knew that it was nested, but I had a problem getting the nest to open And Chris educated me on that. There I've got the circle, and there's a little triangle right there, and I was going on that triangle and trying to click on it and make sure I did get that to open up. But you don't have to click on it. If you just go over and click and hold, it'll open. And then you can open up which one you want. You want the rectangle? There's the rectangle you're seeing. Just click and hold it, and you can get all those different shapes now in 2.0. And this was a result of by incorporating all those new shapes in there. They had to nest them, or else you'd have a whole big old menu all the way down the side of it just for that. Oh, and you're a Mac user, Melissa? Jeez. Sorry. He's got the commode door. He's still using the commode door. Let's see here. I use laptops with large external monitors, old TVs. Even plugged in. Yeah, but you can go in and turn them off. You can turn off the power saving mode and do all kinds of things so that they don't go to sleep. And that was a real challenge for me to get all those figured out whenever I was messing with my laptop till I got away from it. Looking for questions and comments. Questions. Oh no, Chris says Macs have their place. And I joke and I kid. Veronica says she's a Mac because the one thing that I found, and I've mentioned this before, and some of you may have heard it. What I have found when I was working in the entertainment industry, when I was doing more film and TV work, those are Mac users. They're Apple, they're Mac. That creative industry and a lot of the editing software and a lot of that stuff that's out there, it is targeted to the Mac users, and you'll find some really super high end editing software that's really designed for Mac applications. Your other analytical right brain, you get right brain, left brain, and I'm that Android, I'm PC, and they're usually different mindsets, different people. But the entertainment industry, a lot of them use Mac. Sorry to bore you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for. Hope you learned a couple of things tonight. All right. Anybody got any questions about anything related to Lightburn or the designs we were doing or art libraries? Anybody got anything before we wrap this up? We're 1:45. I'm happy to go. I'm happy. Y'all can keep me going all night. I'm like the energizer, blah, blah, blah. I can't talk. The energizer. Is that right? Is that Energizer Bunny? Energizer don't sound right. Well, Connie, again, thank you for being here. Hope you did learn a couple of things. And I appreciate your support. Greatly appreciated. Just looking for any. Okay, Jim's. When trying to use Boolean Assistant, my menu doesn't show up. Are you on 2.0, Jim? Thank you, Wayne. Jim says, Energizer Bunny. Yep. Energizer just didn't sound right. Jim says, when trying to use the Boolean Assistant, my menu doesn't show up. And Waiting a response. Jim, are you using 2.0? Okay, 2.0.03. All right, and that is what I'm on right now. So if we go back over here, we're looking at the same version. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding. Get two shapes and get them interlocking. All right, so I've got one shape selected. I cannot choose any Boolean tools. Hold shift and select the other one. Now I can pick Boolean tools, but this is like this now. These are nested. So up here, I was able to click and hold and got the other ones to option open up. Same thing here. If you click it and hold it, then you get that menu to open up. Then you get your Boolean assistant, intersection, subtract, union. Come down here and click on Boolean assistant. That will cause that to populate over here. Then you can choose, do you want the union? Do you want the intersection, the subtraction, or the other subtraction? And then say, okay, now the way that this new selection over here works is whatever you used last will be what the default is. So we just use the Boolean union. So if I put two more pieces over here, and I select my Boolean, that is now the Boolean assistant. I don't have to do the drop down menu. I just click on it and it opens up. But once I do, if I come over here and I do Boolean and subtract, then the next time I go to use that option right there, that is going to be the subtract option. And I've got to go grab it again. So that's automatically subtract now because the subtract was the last Boolean tool I used. So if you click and hold, you'll have all of the four options of the Boolean show up. Go over and click on the one that you want. And now that last option you picked will be the default for that Boolean selection there. If you want to use a different one, click, hold it, and it'll pop up. But if you want the Boolean assistant to be there, click on it, use it, and then that will be the default every time. Is there an easy way to combine art libraries in Lightburn? Well, the simplest thing that I could tell you to keep from really, because you can merge stuff in Lightburn. I don't know about merging the art libraries, but you could take and let's say you had military 1 and military 2. Well, go over to your open up Lightburn, and if you got 10 things in military 2 and you want them in military 1, just click and click, put them all in, open them up, and then you could, then select them and put them into military 1. Now you've just combined them. You didn't actually force it combined, but you can. There are some merge features in Lightburn. I don't know about Lightburn or libraries. What about it, Chris? Chris says, yeah, the file manager outside of Lightburn. I have screwed up some files. Specifically, I've screwed up my cut libraries and trying to merge some different files. And the other issue I had was, and it was my fault. It wasn't Lightburn's fault. It was my fault. And I was trying to merge libraries. I did not make the necessary changes, preemptive changes in Lightburn or whatever. And so now all the originals are gone. Lightburn's looking for the originals, can't find them. And I tried to, and I messed up the merge, and now everything's just, so I've got to go get my thumb drive, start over with my cut libraries. So I'd be careful. I have not had any luck because I don't know what I'm doing, which is a lot of the time, with merging. I hear you. Have a good night, Bob, and thank you for your support. God bless you for all of your support. Well, thank you. I can tell you if I've got anything tonight. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. I did get it. Got it all. Wow. $2,000. Hallelujah. Praise Jesus. Thank you, sir. Didn't need to do that, but thank you. Let's see here. What are you trying to keep trying? Thanks. I'll keep trying, Jim. All right. So are you, I don't understand, Jim. You say you're going to keep trying. I hope you got that was easy enough for you to figure out there. If you have any problems, let me know. Got that. Yes, we got that. Good night, Miss Melissa. Bless you and thank you. Have a good evening. Yep, half. Not almost half. Almost half. All right. Any others? We got 8 minutes, and I'm gonna call it. Thank you, Miss Veronica. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. And it's working out pretty good. About empty. That's what I'm doing. Click and hold. Go down to Boolean Assistant. Let go, and nothing shows up. All right, let me see if I can recreate your results. So let's see if I can make that happen. So I got these two selected. Come down here. I didn't click on it. It just automatically popped up there. All right. And that just automatically did the union. Control Z, because that didn't need to do anything different. If I did subtract, that just does that. Control Z. All I'm doing is holding that, because if I let go, that actually that stays there. All I had to do is click on it. I don't even have to hold it. So select both of those, click it. Nope. I did have to hold it to make that stay open. Once that's opened, and then I'm not holding any mouse button now, then I can come over and click that, and that'll pop up. But I just go straight click. I'm still holding the click, and there it is. Oh, and hey, you know what? There's always another way. You always have other options. Control B. Control B was what I was using for the longest time. That's a perfect keyboard shortcut for the Boolean Assistant. So, and Jim says that's how I'm doing it now. And okay, but try doing the Control B. Even Control B doesn't open the window. All right, then you've got an issue. That's your PC. Are you on a laptop? Are you on a Mac? What are you on? Are you on a Mac laptop? And yeah, that could be. That's the other thing too. Is depending on are they ungrouped? Because if they're grouped, you're not going to have the option. If I group those together, but he's saying that he can see the option. It's just not opening it up. So whenever they're grouped, you don't even see the option. You can't even try to select it. He's saying that he sees it, he selects it, but it doesn't open. Says no, he's on a new gaming laptop or a new gaming laptop, but you're still on a laptop. I'm telling you guys and gals, I don't think that any of them want to admit it as much as big, because as big of a problem. Lightburn does not like laptops. Everybody talks about problems. It almost comes back to issues laptop. And like Jack in the Shop says, "Oh, that's all I use is, that's awesome." But here it's doing something funky, and we're using the same versions, and even Control B doesn't work. Let me check, Scott. I'm pretty sure I did. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding. Gmail. Yep, I got you. I got you, brother. I got you. All right, close that and go back there. Did it open on a different screen? You've only got one screen on his laptop. Did it open a new window? I need to be mobile and don't have room for a new Windows 11 desktop. Lightburn doesn't like them because they are so many different drivers for the graphics chips. Yeah. That's what I'm just sitting there wondering. Who said it? Burn Carve Print asked about if it opened in a different screen. When you do Control B, and I don't have it turned on over here. Let me go turn this on. Taskbar settings. Notifications. Taskbar range. Show nowhere. There it is. Multiple displays. Got it. Finally. Show taskbar on all displays. Got it. Done. All right. Now close. All right. Just for giggles, try this. I don't know if this is the case, but maybe your PC is doing something funky. Down here in your taskbar, it's showing you what all's open. Like here, it tells me I've got this file folder open. I'm going to close that, get rid of that. I've got all my different Googles open, all my browsers open, Lightburn's open. But there's only, right now I'm hovering over Lightburn, and there's only one version of Lightburn open and only one window showing there when I hover over that. When you select one, and let's ungroup them so we can select them both. If you select one, hold Control, select the other one, and then when you click on, or even if you do Control B should open up your Boolean assistant right there on your display. There is a remote possibility that for whatever reason, it's not bringing it forward and on top of your desktop. And you might be able to come down here and hover over your Lightburn tab and see, is there a separate option over here that's actually the Boolean assistant. Look and see, do the Control B, and then look, go down there with your mouse and hover over the Lightburn tab and see if there's another window in Lightburn that you can click on and open. It may be open, but running behind the version you're looking at. And if that's the case, then we can thank Burn Carve Print for making me think that way. Because you only got one screen, but it could be not populating to your top of your desktop. Sam says, I've got a mini computer and it works fine. Kevin says, one of the most informative channels out here. Thank you, Steve. Well, thank you, Kevin. And Jim says, nope, that's not the issue either. All right, Jim. I don't know. But I will promise you that when I do figure it out, it's going to be something to do with the laptop. And yeah, Radu's even tried doing Alt Tab to look and see if there's any, a secondary desktop maybe. That's why I was thinking that if it was open in a different window, you would see it down here. But what you might try to do is whenever you click on that and it doesn't open, do your, and I can't show you because I don't have it on my primary or my screen. There it is. Well, no, it didn't give me that. Do Alt Tab. Hit Alt and Tab and see when you hit the tab button, see if it shows you the Boolean union or the Boolean assistant. And Jim says it was working fine until he went to 0.03. Well, I'm on 0.03 and I've got okay. And I can't open it from the tools menu, smart Alec. Can't open it from the tool menu, the drop down menu, even the keyboard shortcut's not working. But yeah, just for giggles, go over there to the tools and try it without the keyboard shortcut. Just come down from the drop down tool menu itself. Should do the exact same thing with everything you've been trying. But when you click on that, Alt Tab, no luck either. All right. Well, wrong button. Too many alts and controls. So uninstall 2.0.03 and go back to 2.0102 or 01 or 02. And if it was working before, it should be okay until 04 comes out. And then maybe they'll fix the issue. Maybe they won't. I don't know why it would be doing that. Because that shouldn't be from a resolution issue. Another good. But he says Burn Carve Print, it was working until he did the update to 03. But Burn Carve Print says you're asking if you have multiple desktops enabled. But even if he's got the multiple desktops enabled, that should show you in the taskbar, shouldn't it? He should. That's why I was going to go down and look and see if it was showing another option that he could open up. And it's not showing up in the taskbar like that. But if nothing else, what we all should have learned is at this point, until they get all the bugs shaken out of 2.0, whatever, if your version of Lightburn is working right now and there's a new update out there, first thing you should do, go into your settings, your file where Lightburn is saved, open that folder, right click on the properties and rename that folder. Rename everything about that, save it. Then download the latest update of Lightburn, because then it's not going to see that previous version and it's not going to overwrite that previous version. That version's still going to be there. And when the new version don't work, you can delete it and go back and open up the other one. You don't have to reinstall or uninstall or any, you never got rid of it. It's still there. I would not get rid of your previous version until you know that the new version ain't or is not causing problems. Sounds like a Windows problem of not copying preferences file correctly. So reloading all of his preferences. All right. And so Burn Carve Print is saying that the multiple desktops will not show like I was thinking it would. He's saying click instead of Alt Tab, open the Boolean Assistant and look for Win tab, the Windows button and the tab feature, and see if you have another desktop that's opening up to. So we tried Alt Tab, now try Win tab. Hey, it's either Microsoft's fault or Macintosh, Apple's fault. It's one of the two, right? You got to blame one of them. That's a dead soldier. We're past the 2-hour mark. I'm just curious if Win tab does anything. If Win tab don't do it, Chris says yes. Reload your preference files from a prior version to last Lightburn update to rewrite it. I'm just waiting for a confirmation or denial that okay. Win tab equals no Boolean window. Okay, so do what Chris said. Well, it's not going to be my fault. Reload your preference files from a prior version to last Lightburn update to rewrite it. Now, I've never had to do this, so I don't have any experience. I cannot walk you through that because I've never had to do it. And Jim says, I'll give the preferences a shot. And thanks, fellas. We tried, my friend. We tried. We gave it a shot. We gave it the good college try, college effort. And his Burn Carve says, sorry, mate. I tried. Are you Chris's neighbor, Burn Carve Print? Are you down under, mate? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate all your support. Appreciate you. And hopefully this is going to work out with the two channels. Chris says files, preferences, and load preferences. Come on there. And he acted like he knew exactly what you're talking about. So, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do that. So cancel that. No, originally from up top. Now in Tennessee. I know where Tennessee's at, but where's up top? So Jim, he's saying go to files and then come down to preferences and then load preferences. Load preferences backup. That's only load preferences I see is load preferences backup. Chris is wondering if you're from the North Pole. Burn carve print up top. If Australian's down under, then up top is England. Okay. All right. And Chris says, yes, load preferences backup. In fact, give that a shot. And if that doesn't resolve the issue, go into your closet, separate the winter coats, grab your 12 gauge, have somebody throw that laptop in the air. Use it for skeet. All right. We're calling it, guys, gals. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your support. And this was the unofficial, official celebration of the 3-year anniversary. 3-year anniversary was actually on Father's Day, but the Cubiko never showed up. And now we're just getting around to doing it because that was the plan, was to give it away for the 3-year anniversary. So happy anniversary, late. Thank you all. And we'll see you in the next video. And hopefully, like I said, what I started to say was hopefully keeping the 2 channels separate, the content separate. It won't confuse a whole lot of people, but I'm also hoping that I don't see half the numbers on each of the channels. I hate to see a diversion of people and they both start to suffer. So hopefully things will work out. And that is a toughie. Double live, 2, 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, 2 on Saturdays. We're going to try it for a couple of weeks and see how it works out. All right. Y'all have a good night. Have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll see you in the next video.